The opinions expressed on the following audio program are solely those of the host and the guests. Burner Podcast is an independently produced, not-for-profit show and is not associated with the Burning Man organization or its subsidiaries. The views expressed are not representative of the entire Burning Man community and are presented here for entertainment purposes only. In short, calm the fuck down. It's just a podcast.
Hey, it's episode number 148, and 'tis 247 days till the man burns as of this particular recording. I said tis. I am in fabulous Las Vegas. Been here for the past couple of weeks, having just absolutely an amazing time getting to know this amazing city. Within, I'm going to say, 3 days of being here, I had a very strong sensation deep in my guts that Vegas and I are about to embark on a fabulous new love affair. There was immediately a lot of alignment happening for me over here. So much alignment, so many of the annoying hippie words that in so many tiny, silly little ways that I will absolutely not be getting into any of them right now in this intro. So what I will tell you, listeners, is that I was immediately blown away by all the ways Las Vegas is like Burning Man. And for anyone who thinks Las Vegas's entire vibe is like the Strip, I guess that's pretty much like people who think Burning Man is just the Esplanade and Robot Heart. I've had multiple super Burning Man-y feeling nights over here where I'd walk around downtown in the arts district and I'd find myself stumbling into some cool hidden treasure. People have been exceptionally warm and friendly, and I've just been really blown away by how walkable this city is. Like, there is super weird shit everywhere. So for a guy who's in his happiest place on multi-hour walks looking at blinky stuff, this place is just the closest thing I've ever found to Black Rock City in the default world. We'll geek out on all of that because my guest today, whom I'm eager to introduce you to, will be serving kind of sort of as like Las Vegas's de facto Burner Podcast embedded reporter on the scene. I'm joined today by Randy Winsett, aka Snarky fucking Santa. I mean, it's just Snarky Santa. His middle name isn't fucking. Or is it? Snarky Santa, host of SIR Radio, SIR Radio, on ShoutingFire Radio, is my guest today. Since today's episode will be consisting of two assholes with microphones who love the sound of their own voice, today's episode is probably going to be one of those that feels more like co-hosts bantering. That's my prediction anyway. I met Randy on Playa a few years back, where we first initiated the idea of doing this episode together. And then the whole world shut down because of that thing that happened. But now it's happening. Snarky Santa and I are reunited in spectacular, perfect, synchronistic timing. Because what better time of the year to have Snarky fucking Santa on this show than goddamn fucking Christmas? And in Las Vegas. It's as if today's show was written by Shane Black himself. He's the screenwriter of Die Hard and Lethal Weapon for the not giant film nerds out there. And all of his movies take place during Christmas. So for this film nerd, it would really make my day if one of us at some point said, I'm too old for this shit, and then something explodes. For today's show, we're going to get to know Randy and Las Vegas. In addition to an abundance of snarky bullshit, I'm predicting we'll connect on a more intimate level with Las Vegas's community by way of Randy's own very personal journey and his own very personal story as our vehicle. Randy is a cancer survivor, and our contributing producer, Matt Meanders, that's who you have to blame for this audio train wreck that you're hearing. It's all Matt's fault. Matt has been telling me for a long time that we absolutely need to immortalize Randy's story by getting him on this podcast. This is why we're saying it's been 5 years in the making. So here we are. We're doing it. Snark and cursing and slots and blackjack and telling cancer to go fuck itself is on the docket. Today's episode is entitled Christmas in Vegas. I go by Mr. Arash, even though nobody calls me Mr. Welcome to Burner Podcast.
On the first part of the journey, I was looking at all of life. There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rain. The first thing I met was a fly with the balls and the sky with no clouds. The heat was hot and the ground was dry, but the air was full of sound. I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no name.
What were we? We were just talking about something. Gosh.
Matt Meanders. Let's talk about Matt.
Let's talk about Matt Meanders, that fuck.
I don't know whether to kiss him or allow him to hit me sometimes. Because
Why am I super... Matt is like one of the nicest people on the planet. Why am I so incredibly entertained by the idea of causing violence against him right now?
Bill,
Is this your effect?
It's
your
a
effect?
yoga thing. Yeah.
This is you.
Has he told you his origin story?
Matt's origin story?
How he got to his first event, Segura Man?
I think he did, but I may have been one of those situations where I was nodding along and pretending like I was listening.
He thought he was going to a yoga retreat.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm just like, okay, sure, that's where it's at. So
Yeah.
yeah, Matt Meanders, yes, all boys and girls, Matt Meanders, and Meanders is not his real last name, by the way. So,
Yeah, it's not.
But,
If I hadn't emailed with him, I wouldn't know. But he's done an amazing job of branding himself with the meandering thing.
Oh, totally.
And he's like, "Welcome to the meandering life." And like now I'm saying it, I'm like, "Oh, I've entered the meandering life.
Yeah.
Now I'm going from city to city, meandering around."
Exactly. Yeah. Thanks, Matt.
It's very well done. It's an excellent master class in branding.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So Matt, of course, the guy that we're talking shit about, the way that you and I were introduced was that Matt, who is a listener of this show, started LED talks at Swaraman, which is Arizona Regional Burn, and he regularly references your LED talk as like the thing that really like kind of, he's like, everybody's in tears, it blew people away. I think I understand what he was describing. It's like, it's definitely one of those moments that we have where we put something together and we're like, is what I'm doing adding any value to the world? And then when people heard your story, I think Matt was like, okay, this was good. This was a good thing.
It was funny because, so my introduction to Matt goes through my now ex-girlfriend, who I still love with all my heart and, soul and everything. She went to Segura Man that year and she saw Matt and they were doing this LED talks. And
I'm gonna 1 minute edit. I was told by Mr. Mom on the episode where I interviewed him for Swaraman that he would punch me in the dick if I said the G. So Swaraman.
Who was this?
Mr. Mom.
Mr. Mom.
Yeah.
You're lucky I don't call it toast. I am not kidding. I will call your event toast.
I'm gonna tag him on this.
You should. You really should.
Yes, continue.
So Segura Man. She went out there and saw his LED talks, and he was like trying to like generate, some people. She's like, hey, I'm dating this cross-dressing Santa who's fighting cancer, and he has a lot of fun. He's really snarky, and you might want to interview. You might want to talk to him. And so he's like, well, you had me at cancer patient, so let's go. And she made that she made that connection, and he said, I'm going to do LED talks at Synergy. I'm like, awesome. It was the second Synergy.
And that's the Vegas burn.
Vegas burn Synergy, yes. Yeah, we'll dig into some history about Vegas burning too, probably. Maybe, who knows. But yeah, he came out with his Synergy talk, and he was like, "Do you want to do it?" I was the first person to sign up, and I'm also the reason why he has the rules that he has on there, because sometimes I get a little rambling. But 2018, I was January 2018, I was diagnosed with stage 2 colorectal cancer. And like, it was like a frying pan to the face moment where you're just like, okay, yeah, I need to get my life together and start, there is no next year.
Yeah.
So, so I started writing about all these little things that I do. And, I'd already been doing these little things called hashtag bus tales, which was like riding around on the bus in Las Vegas. You get to play games like, is it UNLV student or homeless bum?
Okay.
Seriously.
One more time.
Is that you're driving? Somebody comes on the bus.
Right.
Is that a indigent person? I don't know, homeless person, or is it a UNLV student?
Okay. Yeah. I used to play this game with hipsters. But
yeah, hipsters, burners. Sure. You can all. Yeah, it's just such a great thing to walk to see those people on the strip.
Right. Right.
Fuck yes.
So. No, I know, because I often. As a photographer, I'll look at the unhoused and I'm like, what you've done with your faction is actually pretty fucking badass. Yeah. And it's just because they're working with what they have.
Exactly.
No. So the rest of us are just like copying that level of freedom, really.
Yeah, totally. They're doing IKEA way different.
Yeah.
But no, we did. So I said I wanted to get up there, and I had never gotten up on stage. I'd never talked publicly before. And I got up there and started talking. Just, I thought it was like the people who so I started documenting what I was going through, like with hashtag cancer tales. And, it was kind of fun. And, now I'm doing it publicly and public speaking. And like, people are like, wow, like you don't talk like everybody else. I'm like, yeah, well, I say the quiet parts out loud, and I say the things you should say to a therapist in their office on publicly, they're like, oh, you don't know, you totally do more of that, and I did that first Cancer Tales there, and then I did it at the Big Burn 2018 on Center Camp, which was really fucking cool. That was my second meeting with Mark Day that day. Mark Day, I'm kind of hung up on Mark Day, so
he's been on.
Yeah, I know. I listened to your show.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so let's finish Matt Meanders, then I'll talk to you about my relationship with you.
Please.
So Matt was like, do you want to talk? And like every time Matt does LED talks, I'm like, I'm there. I'm one of the members of Hair of the Dog Lounge at Burning Man Hot D. Oldest running pub camp on the playa. Fuck you, Egg Bar.
My stop 100% of my burns. Yeah, absolutely.
Really? Do you do?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay. So, well, it's what timing makes up. So, I love camping at Hot D, and I love those guys there. And I have no idea how to get back to Matt Meanders and my origin story. Okay. And I brought Matt Meanders to the Burn in 2019. I sponsored him to go to Hot D, and he brought you over, and we said, I was making pizza. Because when you're making pizza, when you're gifting pizza when you give food at Burning Man, you have to get a food permit. Unless you are feeding your camp members, and whatever's left over, you're feeding to passerbys.
Right. Okay.
So I would make a pizza, take a slice out of it for the people in my camp, and then give it to one of my pizza sluts and have them go out to the bar.
I love it.
Yeah, don't sue me, Pizza Hut.
Yeah, that's it. I love all of the ways that people burners work around those kind of those kind of things. Was that the year that was that Renegade year? Or was that
No, that was 19. That was before the world shut down.
Yes, it was. Okay. That is, then I said that correctly in the intro. Because I do remember during the Renegade year, somebody had, they said you can't have any permanent structures, it has to be a shade. So somebody basically established a big shade structure that was basically a stage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is my stage.
Yeah. Oh, I loved seeing all the stuff that was happening in 2020, 2021. I remember, was it 20 or one of those years, we were Motorbike Matt, who does the webcam out there, had taken his rig out there and was live streaming to YouTube.
Oh,
and
he's who I have to thank for ending up out there in Renegade.
Yes.
All right.
So he was out there. He was at Renegade, and he put the stream on. It was going to YouTube, and YouTube picked up the ShoutingFire audio. So it comes around Wednesday night when my show comes on, and I start my BS with doing whippets and talking about boofing and God knows whatever else was coming out of my mouth at that time.
Yeah.
You get a message from Bobzilla like, yeah, YouTube dropped us.
Oh no.
No, we're still living stream, so we're still over Twitch. So go tell everybody to go over Twitch. Like, yes, sir.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah. You did an episode with ShoutingFire with Bob Zilla, did you?
Yeah, we were. Well, it was Bob, Super Susan, and I were being interviewed by Strange Frequency Radio, which is like out of Australia.
Sounds right.
Yeah. So I was part of the round table on that one. Yeah. Yeah. YouTube. I get like every other day I get an email that says things got removed. So I don't really.
Yeah.
I kind of
oppress the people, folks.
Yeah. I kind of like that it's a little bit challenging to like get into like the weeds of the community. You know?
Yeah.
It should be just a little bit more challenging than scrolling past on Instagram.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. You have some active participation.
Yeah. So you said, what was the year that you were diagnosed?
So I was diagnosed with cancer in January 2018.
2018. Okay.
Yeah. So this January, so that was what I did. What did I do in 2018? Fight cancer.
Yeah.
So I literally from January till December, 348 days between the time I was diagnosed until I received my remission stamp.
I want to ask you a real quick question about the diagnosis, and then I want to jump back to the beginning, like in the room.
So wait, how far back in the beginning do you want to go? I got a lot of beginnings.
We're going to go back to the Big Bang. I want to know about the moment you were swimming around inside a testicle and then you decided...
I can tell you where I conceived that if you'd like to know that.
We'll do that. I want to go to that. But real quick, before we do that, I want to know, when you're given that diagnosis, how long did that process take to actually like process in your brain what they're telling you? Is it an immediate...
I'm still processing it. 5 years later, I'm still processing a doctor that I had never met coming in and saying, you don't have the flu, you have cancer. It was a mind-blowing moment. Yeah. It literally is like, hey, I love people who go out and do self-help and go out and get all of this, this work done on them. Great. I'm glad you chose that. Mine got handed to me with a frying pan to the face. Yeah. It's like, okay, guess what? This cancer is now in you, and you have to deal with it. And you get to decide, what are you going to use your voice for? Are you going to, complain about it and worry about it and whine and bitch and complain and moan? Or are you going to sit there and say, fuck you, cancer. Fuck cancer. Yeah. Two most powerful words on the planet. Fuck cancer.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit for me? Because in so many of like the personal development work that you're describing, when we're doing it, in our cuddly not dealing with cancer approach, a lot of the processing will be about receiving things with grace, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But like with cancer, it's almost like you got to like put on your fucking boxing gloves.
Yeah, put on every day you're fighting. Every day, they don't tell you that stuff when you're on that side of it. It's like, oh, you've got cancer now. Here's your weapons, and go out there and go get blown up, and we'll patch you back together. And you go back out every day. Literally every day you get up and say, today I have to fight cancer. Today I have to fight cancer. Today I have to fight cancer. And then one day you get up and they say, nope, cancer's gone.
Huh.
And then you understand more deeply that mindset of, I've been fighting for 353 days. This thing in my body that I did to myself. Cancer is funny. Cancer is your body going off script.
Yeah.
It's like it's trying to improvise. It's like, I don't know what to do here, so I'm going to do this, And it really was hard. It was hard, but it was hard in the right way that it makes you realize, oh, wait, there's a strength in being vulnerable. Like being able to open up to people and just say, hey, look, here's all the wounds. This is the bullshit here, And I realized that was my voice. That was what I'm here for. I'm a storyteller. Tell stories, good, bad, ugly, and indifferent.
Yeah. So I want to talk about that just a little bit more about the fighting aspect. As a person who does not consider himself a fighter, and for so much of my journey's been around that, I'm wondering, like, did you consider yourself a fighter before this? Was that the shift that came?
I was not anything before that. Before cancer, I was, 2018, I was 43 years old. I was living in Las Vegas. I was making well below what I should be making. I was in a marriage that I loved my children. I loved my wife, but the marriage was dead. I had been in and out of the Burning Man community for so long. And it was just like, what am I going to do? Oh, by the way, here's cancer. Fuck you. Yeah. Deal with cancer now. Happy New Year. Huh. So I went through the stages of grief, which, by the way, are not designed for people who are actually going. The stages of grief that people have been taught are for people who are going through end of life stuff. Mm. It doesn't apply in all situations, because it was sitting there reading through, just like what is cancer? Looking at the statistics of this, 57% chance of remission. 57% chance. I'm going to flip a coin. 50-50. Heads, I live. Tails, I die. It's rough. It's really rough going into a situation like that. Yeah. Where you don't know. We're gonna get real silly here in just a few minutes.
We are, yeah. I promise.
So, but it's real hard to find the good in that, and that's what I do. Is I find the beauty in the broken.
Yeah.
Find the bliss in the bullshit, and sit there and say, hey, yeah, it sucks right now. One of the things I've said multiple times: your life does not suck. Your perceptions of your life suck. Change your perceptions, you change your reality. Yeah. Simple.
Did your sense of humor get darker?
Oh, my sense of humor has been darker since I was born. Yeah. I was named Randy by two people who knew what Randy meant in British culture and exposed to British television series.
This is an excellent transition because we're back in Oklahoma.
Back in Oklahoma, yes.
Yeah. All right. Tell me about where Randy came from.
Do I have to? Okay. I was born a poor Oklahoma. I was born in Dallas, Texas, 1975. My parents moved to Oklahoma sometime later, and so I spent from 1979 until 1998 in Oklahoma.
Okay,
and that was the entire world. There are three types of people in Oklahoma: those who want to leave, those who can't leave because they're physically stuck, and those who can't imagine why you would want to live anywhere else in the world.
Which category were you?
I was stuck.
Yeah.
I was stuck in Oklahoma. I was like, my father was a big deal countywide in that old redneck sort of way. Mm. And then
what did he do?
He was a fire marshal. He's still alive. I talk about him in past tense. He says, I haven't had anything in my life. I haven't had him in my life for a while. He's still alive. He's got a lovely family. I like them, but
dude, that's so interesting because the only other person I can think of that I know from Oklahoma is a firefighter.
Who is it?
I am blanking on her name right now.
Okay. Well,
but she's like taller than me.
I'll tell you. Okay. Put the firefighter. I think I dated a very tall girl who I think became a firefighter. So
yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it's weird the degrees of separation we all are. So I lived in Oklahoma. It was fun for a weird kid who didn't fit in. I wouldn't have fit in Berkeley in the I might have fit in London late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out where the microphone.
No, you're good. You continue your story. I'll do my story.
No, I just was a weird kid. My mom was like, I love my mother. You met my mother earlier. She was like, you're going to find your tribe. You're going to find your people. They're out there somewhere. They're not here, but you're going to find them. And it took a long time, and I finally found them. I found the Burning Man community, and then I brought them home. And I was like, hey, Mom, I brought company over. So they've adopted her, too.
Yeah. When and how was that discovery?
Burning Man, the origin story.
Yeah.
I love it when you try to tell people origin story and they think it's orgy story. I've had three people now come up like, you want to hear an orgy story?
Yeah.
Yes, I do want to hear an orgy story, but I'm actually talking about your origin story.
I do. It could be the origin of an orgy story or the orgy of an origin story.
Origin story.
I'm a fan of all of the above. Yeah.
So, origin of Burning Man. In 1998, I was working at an assembly plant in Dallas, Texas, Arlington, Texas, and was working third shift. And when you're on third shift and the line's not running, there's not a lot to do, but just make sure nothing breaks.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of downtime. I was reading a lot. I was reading all this pile of magazines. I was listening to Art Bell at the time.
Yeah.
Because that was like, what do you do in the late night?
That's a rabbit hole to go down.
Let us skip over the. We'll take the Art Bell topic next time.
I have that on my list of like things. Like it switches on what day of the week it is. Things to absolutely listen to LSD versus things to never ever listen to LSD.
Yeah. But I was looked at the magazines and I saw the Burning Man Wired article. Welcome to America's new vacation. And I read that and I'm like, oh my gosh, these are my people. I see these people. I want to go there. And that was, again, 1998, 1999. I was like, now you're a small redneck weird kid from Oklahoma living in Texas. You're not going to get out to there. So fast forward a couple years, 2005, I had moved to Vegas, was playing Dungeons and Dragons. Well, it was an EverQuest tabletop game.
Okay.
It was a role playing dicey nerdy thing back. Nerds were still cool. Nerds were cool, but not super cool.
Right. This is basically the total opposite of an orgy story.
Yeah, totally opposite.
Yeah.
Nobody ever in an orgy said roll for stamina.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I might say that though.
We need to start doing this now.
Roll for stamina. I was playing with a friend of ours, and she's like, "Yeah, we're getting ready to do this local Burning Man festival." I'm like, "Wait, Burning Man? Tell me more." She's like, "Well, it's like a mini Burning Man. It's gonna be like not at the time it was like 40,000 people. It's like it's like a couple hundred people." I'm like, "Where are we doing it? They're doing it on a dry lake bed, huh?" Like the playa, like the real playa. We're gonna do a Burning Man event on playa. I'm like, fuck yeah, sign me up.
Nice.
And so that was the very first Dark Skies 2005, spring 2005. I went to my first Burning Man event.
That's awesome.
And then,
I by the way, every time I hear a story of someone whose first burn it was a regional, it makes my heart sing. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm like constantly trying to talk people into doing that more.
Oh yeah, do more regionals.
Yeah.
Always do more regionals.
Yeah. I want to jump back to your move to Vegas. What brought you out here? And tell me about what it was like here.
What got me to Vegas, or what originally got me to Vegas, was a coin flip.
Fair.
I was living in the Bay Area, also known as Salinas, because you can't really afford to live in the Bay Area. I had just gotten fired from a job, and I was like, my girlfriend was leaving me, and I was like, I needed a change. I was like, flip a coin. Heads, I'm moving to LA. Tails, I'm moving to Las Vegas. And I flipped a coin. Do exactly the same number of people. Flipped a coin, headed up to Vegas, packed all my shit in the car, drove out to Vegas.
Wow.
And then I was here for a while, and then I was not here for a while, and then I was actually ready to give up. And then my friend said, "Hey, you want to do this camping trip Burning Man thing?" I'm like, yes, I do.
Why was LA one of the options?
LA, because I loved LA.
Okay.
Like, as a kid growing up in Oklahoma, it's like, Vegas, I saw Vegas from like the 1950s style. Mm-hmm. And LA was also like, oh yeah, it's not Oklahoma. Right. It's like, where can I go that will be the farthest from Oklahoma mentally, spiritually, physically? It was like New York City. And I did like Broadway, but I was like, no. So, I mean,
it's so interesting you say that, because I was in Pasadena for about a year and a half, and Pasadena has like the most bizarre parking law structure that, like, out of anywhere. It's very weird, but our understanding of it, without getting too deep into it, was that a lot of it was like basically written around the Dust Bowl era. And so they made it very difficult for people to come out.
Yes, and you remember who the anti-hero in that story was, right?
No.
Dust Bowl, Oklahomans.
Yeah.
That's where Okies came from. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, the Okies, yeah.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I'm like, Okie is actually a slur. They're like, no, it's not. I'm like, it actually is a slur.
Yeah.
But, we did successfully take that one back. So.
Yeah, that works. So, Vegas. What was Vegas like back then?
Vegas, all I'd ever seen of Vegas was on TV. Like a lot of people. A lot of people have this image of Vegas in their head. And I came here and was like, ooh, and got real jaded with it real quick. Because it was like was like, I was trying to get into casinos. Well, casinos are hard to get into. Once you're into them, you're good. But so I was like kind of on the periphery doing stuff with the casinos, never quite getting into the casino market. It was hard the first little bit. I was homeless. I was homeless for like 6 months. I like lived in my car for a while. And then I met some friends. I got a good job and started laying down roots. And that was when we started hanging out with more people and started being there and seeing the community come up. That was the early days. Cause it was like that when the Burning Man stuff, I discovered the Arts District and, downtown and everything. And it was still real touristy, real gritty, it was a little different.
Was this back when downtown Vegas was sort of like where it was hitting, or was the strip going on back
then?
This
was so Vegas history is a different topic than I am comfortable talking. Sure. But it's also, it was what you see down there now, but it was less than what it is now.
Right.
It was still grungy. It was like, the families and stuff are going down the strip. They were starting to move towards the downtown Fremont area. Fremont East had not been developed at all. Right. It's like when the Leon stops, like I'm not going down there.
Right.
Bad things happen down there. So
yeah, and I've had for any listeners who've been here, I haven't been here in many years. I was like 21 the first time I came to Vegas, and of course I was just on a strip and it immediately ruined me for all kind of like clubbing and partying in like San Diego, because Vegas was so next level.
That's what's weird to me. My first time to Vegas was a layover on a flight from Boston to the Bay Area, San Jose.
Yeah.
That was the first time. I mean, my parents come out here. My parents were back here in the 70s. Yeah, 70s, early 80s. I saw they when Circus, they gave me a hat from Circus's opening. I wasn't the opening, but
my dad just stayed at Circus this past week. That's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
They just I saw Vegas through their eyes.
Yeah.
And then I came here, I was like, it was a layover. I was like here for like 30 minutes. I was like, oh, cool. I can gamble on the slot machines on the airport, and then left. And then when I came back, I was coming back to visit people that the girl I was seeing in California knew, including her sister, who was a cabbie, who was like, he's like, if you ever want to know what's going on, follow the cabbies. Mm-hmm. Like, you want to know how to get around Vegas, follow the cabbies.
Right.
And that's where I learned, like, oh, okay, here's the pretty picture we're painting for you. Now come back here and look at all the stuff that makes it actually work.
Right. Yeah, and I grew up in San Diego, so Southern California. Driving to Vegas is just like a normal part of the culture.
15.
And yeah, we did a lot of clubbing here in my 20s, and then I got into like the burn community. Even like wrong before that, I kind of stopped coming out, and then there was a large chapter that I never came out here again because my image of Vegas was what I knew in my 20s, which was clubbing. So now coming back here and like walking the streets, and like really connecting with the city, it has been really magical. I've been in I'm in the Arts District. That's where I've been staying, and it's just been like, man, like I'm having such an amazing time connecting on like an intimate level with the city.
The Arts District is fabulous.
It's so cool.
That didn't exist when I first moved to Vegas. That was Tony Hsieh and the Zappos stuff coming into town, and like, oh, hey, here's some money, and hey, have you heard about Burning Man?
Yeah. The founder of Zappos, Tony Hsieh, like I guess he injected a lot of money into.
He injected a lot of money into it. He had gone to Burning Man, like so many people. He went out to the desert and did things that you do in the desert, and came back and was like, I want to build like this type of utopian energy into downtown Vegas. It took.
Wow.
It really did take. We had a couple of big.
That makes complete sense then, as I was saying, like in the intro, that I had multiple very Burning Man-y feeling nights walking around downtown.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. The people who are building that stuff are burners.
Yeah.
I remember when I first got into Burning Man, 2004, 2005, the Malcolm in the Middle episode came out. Yeah. And remember, the principles had come out in 2004. Right. So we didn't know what the principles were. Commodification was still crapping out on our our error checking.
Yeah.
But it was like they're making money off of us. I'm like, those guys go to Burning Man.
Yeah.
the production, the all those extras, everything, they go to Burning Man. That's let them have that, let them kind of sneak that in, because we were culture, but we weren't counterculture yet.
Yeah. No, the commodification culture conversation has been particularly interesting to me as it keeps like evolving and shifting. And
because you've got the big art, like you go down on the Strip and you will see the big art. You will see the love sign. You will see Bliss Dance. You will see
the love sign's at the Venetian, right?
Love sign is at the Venetian. Yes.
Yeah. I kept looking at that and going like, is that the one from the Playa?
Yes, it is. That's they brought it. They cleaned it. Bliss Dance is down by the park at MGM.
Right. Yeah.
But. Okay, that's great. Those are the big pieces. And then you go downtown, you can still see, this guy over here has been displaying it. You get somebody like Recycled Propaganda or any of the places down there. They're like, these guys have been displaying art at Burning Man for years. Hey, there's a cat there's a cat art car driving by. Yeah. That's Pancake. That's Clayboys. Yeah. It's like that's part of the downtown culture. They just kind of embraced it finally, but it was organically. It wasn't putting sprouts in and saying, "Now you grow and you change the world right here."
Right.
Totally organic.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot easier to judge a culture when you're not physically embedded in it and you're like looking at it from across the country or across the world and going, how dare they?
I will tell you something I found hilarious.
Hit me.
It was several years ago, back when during Burning Man's GLC. I was watching it because I have no life that can prove it mathematically. I was watching this thing and they were talking about Black Rock City and all the advantages of Black Rock City, and they were trying to find something to compare and contrast it with. And the contrast they used was Las Vegas.
Interesting. Contrast from Burning Man?
Yeah. Like Las Vegas is the antithesis of Black Rock City.
That's so funny.
I'm like, wow, way to be radically inclusive.
To be honest, if I had to be honest with myself, I feel like I've been a part of those conversations and I would have in the past agreed with it. Because from the outside, if your experience is only the passing observation of Las Vegas because you've been on the Strip for 3 days.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely correct. Like that is what the envision is. You wouldn't know until you step off, the same way that you don't know what Burning Man is until you get off the fucking Esplanade.
Exactly. If you're going to Burning Man and looking for a party, walk the Esplanade. There's Orgy Dome. Go do whatever. Right. But once you get on the back roads, that's where the real stuff is. Yeah. And that's any city, really. Yeah. Vegas is big. I know Reno's the biggest little city in the world, but Vegas is kind of that way too.
Yeah.
The people who live in Vegas are the ones who make those shows and make all that magic happen. Mm-hmm. And we've got lives too.
Yeah. For a long time, I remember that part for years was mowing around in my head. I'm like, the more I got deeper into the burn scene, the more I would look back on my memories of Vegas and go, I bet you that Acrobat's a burner.
Oh, totally.
It makes a lot of sense. You know
how many reality shows I've watched in the last 15 years where I was like, that's a burner, that's a burner, that's a burner.
Yeah.
I know. I've seen them naked. I've seen them spin fire naked. It's like, it's hilarious. And it's not just on reality TV, videos, all sorts of stuff. You're just like, I know them.
So, tell me about the first Dark Skies.
Oh, geez. 200
people?
3 something. Actually, I might have the ops manual for it.
That's okay.
Anyway, so I've got
ish.
Yeah, it was a very pure, like, we're doing something different, and you felt like we were doing something different. It was out at Roach Lake Bed, which is, so if you're driving to take the drive from San Diego to Vegas, you've driven up 15 up through State Line, Prim, Buffalo, the roller coaster and everything over there. North of that and over on the other side of the railroad tracks is Roach Lake. And that was our place. That's where we did it. Mm-hmm. It was this beautiful thing. Nobody was using it. There was some power lines over there. And we worked with BLM, our rec planner, and they're like, do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And we did it. And we produced 5 events there in 48 months.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, when you break it down like that, it's like the theme we did one year. We did it in September. It was 3 weeks after the burn. Our theme was don't unpack.
That's good.
And that was actually, we had Dr. Megavolt came out that year.
Awesome.
Like he was leaving from the play. He's like, "Oh, stop there." Brought one of his little toys and stuff. So
I feel like in the beginning of that sentence, you almost said, "Don't go to Burning Man," because I've been thinking about making that the subtitle of this show.
Don't go to Burning Man.
Don't go to Burning Man.
It's
fucking stupid.
You know, it's why on earth would you spend the amount of money we spend to go out into an environment that is actively trying to kill you?
Yeah.
You are facing borderline malnutrition, borderline dehydration. Yeah. God knows what was in that thing that you took. Yeah. And now you want to go out and have a life-changing event? Are you fucking... Well, you must be high.
Yeah. You were high when you made that decision.
You were high when you made that decision.
Yeah, this is the funny thing is, too, I've started doing that, and I literally, like, I'll hear people complaining about why they're scared to go, and then I'll switch into, like, just saying, don't go, and I'll try to talk them out of it, and they immediately want to go.
Oh. My mother, she'll hear this later. She's 71 years old. Nana's great. Nana wants to go to Burning Man. She wants to go to Burning Man so bad. She hasn't been yet. We bought an RV last year. We were going to go last year, and I just couldn't get. Thank you, BED, for all your hard work to make that I came to this conclusion. I never had a hell yeah reason of why I wanted to go to Burning Man. So I was like, yeah, maybe. I was offered tickets. I was offered accommodations. I have an RV. You know, you can drive my RV, whatever. I was just like, I didn't want to go. And it was the right time to take a break. So,
so what was your first
My first actual burn was 2007.
I don't like that phrase because this was an actual burn right here.
Yeah, no.
Your first Gerlach Regional.
My first Gerlach Regional. The first time I stepped foot on Black Rock was 2007. Okay. The burn's so nice we did it twice.
All right.
Yeah, we got there. I had just gotten married. Me and my wife, my ex-wife now, had gotten married, and that was our honeymoon. We were honeymoon at Burning Man. We met at that first Dark Skies, and we were going to celebrate Burning Man. And so we went up there, and we got up there in the RV. Her mother had brought her. I had said earlier, my children are third generation burners. My ex-wife, Fraggle, who was from San Diego, her mother took her to her first burn in 2002.
Okay.
2003. So her mother had bought an RV. Her mother had an RV. We rode out there. We gave some rides to people. And I got it there. And I'm like, I'm going to go, because I've been spending 2 years now. 2 years. I haven't been to the burn. I got on my bike and rode out to the man and saw the man like, and then I rode back to my bike. And then they said the man burned. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's over already?
That year. Tell me about some of the ways that you experienced it that you think were affected by the fact that you'd been active in the community here in Vegas for long before it.
Yeah, it was like I was just a sponge. I was wanted to absorb. Like I was, when we were doing Dark Skies, I was running theme camps. So like, you know, people like the guys from Apocalyptica would come in, or like, you know, Megavolt or the Mutator, who I'm still a huge fan of. I would meet these guys and like hear Burning Man stories, like, just absorbing it. And then I go up to my first burn, and it's like, oh yeah, that's what that's what Crunchy told me, and Athena said to go do this, and you know, and it's like, okay, great. No one else is there. And that's when I started finding the back streets and stuff like that. Because I wasn't there for the party. I was there for the stories and the knowledge and stuff like that.
Yeah. I appreciate the big party part of it, because it gets it out of my system. And I try to do that like pretty early, so that I can go out into the dark streets in the background.
Yeah, no, I want to when I get there, I want to set up camp. I want to relax for just like maybe 5 minutes, and then total play time. It's like, if I go see friends, I might see them, might not. Want to go explore this place, might not. You know, I always like, I love this. Why I love being at Hot D at the bar, because like, what's the coolest thing you've seen? You know, and then sometimes you have those amazing nights where you go out. I had one night where we went out. We had been setting up Hot D. It was still build week. We got out and we went. A friend of ours picked up an art card, drove us out, and they're like, "Hey, you want to, you know, Dust City Diner?" I'm like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, Dust City Diner." They're like, "Yeah, they're right over there."
Amazing.
So we drove over to Dust City Diner, and my girlfriend at the time had really wanted to do that. She was like, I'm manifesting this. I'm like, congratulations, baby, we're doing it. So,
fuck yeah. Tell me, I want to kind of like bridge this gap here between this time period, and we were saying 2019 is where we started.
2000. So
this was like mid 2000s to 2019.
So
what was going on here in Vegas for you?
For me in Vegas here, so 2004, 5 to 7 was kind of like the early years of Burning Man, Vegas stuff happening. 2007, 2008, I made some major life choices of mine. I fell in love with a San Diego burner, got married, had a little baby, and then we found out we were pregnant 3 weeks before the burn in 2008.
Wow.
So it's like my oldest son, who is now 14, can walk around and say, I went to the Burning Man.
Yeah.
I went to the Burning Man before. It really, really sucked. So like you were in utero, dude.
Man.
So
had the ultimate shade structure.
Yeah. Ultimate shade structure, ultimate support system. This is an actual plug and play.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But no, it was here in Vegas though, it was weird because like we were trying to like get along with people and like, hey, we're Burning Man and we're cool and stuff. And they're like, yeah, don't care.
Yeah.
Don't really care. No. The freaks in the desert on drugs. Yeah, no. We have Pahrump up the street. We don't need you. So, but it was a lot of slogging for a while there. And then it was in 2011, I left Vegas, moved back to Oklahoma for a little while. And that was when kind of things started like blowing up really. Because that was when Tony Hsieh got involved. That was when Tony Hsieh got involved, we got the Life Cube. We got this new influx of people coming in. And I was like, oh, hey.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was.
Can I? Because an observation I'm having is that what you were describing right now, that was my observation from my experiences growing up in San Diego, and then spending a lot of time in LA with like the community there.
Oh yeah.
In San Diego, it felt to me like, because it's more of a conservative military town upbringing,
right?
When the weirdos found each other, they were like, "Don't let me go." Yeah. So the community was a lot more centralized. People were like a lot more interconnected. In a lot of the world, in the Middle East, like I've been a lot of different places. Like it's the more of the counterculture that you are, the more when you find each other, you don't want to let go.
Yeah, exactly. If you've spent longer you've spent looking for your people,
right?
Once you find them, you're not going to let go.
Right. And so in Vegas, I'm just now getting to know the community here, but I've heard from multiple people that have come back from Vegas trips and stuff, just really going off about what a lovely experience it's been. Yeah. And it's the experience that I've had very quickly too, by the way. Incredibly warm and welcoming. It's not to say like there are burner communities that are not, but some are a little more suspicious.
We've all been there. We've all seen them. We've all said that, hey, I'm a burner from Las Vegas coming out there. No.
Yeah.
We've had those. We're not tagging any regional contacts.
We're not, but it's true. They're not 100% of burner
Megs, you might want to do some research here. Might want to touch base with your regionals. No, I don't know if Megs is even charging.
She's not. I don't think she's been working there for a long time.
Oh yeah. So I don't. I only keep up on the ones that are going to hurt, that can possibly send me legal action against me. So,
but yeah, no, the Vegas burn community, super welcoming, super, and the immediate sense I get is that it's pretty interconnected, and I'm curious what your thought is on that.
Yeah, because Burning Man, Las Vegas Burning Man isn't like Burning Man anywhere else. We are a very weird community. We've always been a weird community. Like I've had people like, why aren't there any big Vegas camps? I'm like, we see each other all the time. I want to go be with somebody else. I don't, we don't want to be in Vegas all the time. So, but yeah.
I have one observation. I don't know if it's specifically Vegas camps, Nevada camps in general. Like I'm saying, probably like Reno camps.
Reno camps, yeah.
My experience on Playa has been that usually the darkest sense of humor has been with the Nevada camps.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the darkest.
The ones who grew up here grew up with nuclear bombs going off in their backyard. Okay, that's gonna warp some shit.
Yeah.
But we're not standoffish. We're very inviting. We're a transient town. We're used to people coming in and saying, "Hey, let me give you my all for 2 years, and then fuck off."
That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like we kind of like, we've had people come in from different areas that were like, well, this is how we did it in New Jersey, or this is how we did it in Sheboygan. I'm like, I don't give a fuck how you do it anywhere else. San Francisco doesn't tell us how to do it. It's Burning Man regions are not franchises.
Yeah.
And that's something that somebody I told somebody. I was like,
that's not an excellent clarification.
It's not a franchise, man. It's like what works for you works for you. And Burning Man has a playbook. They'll say, here's the things that work for us. Here's the things that have worked other places.
Right.
And if you want to follow that, great. Congratulations, you have now become a cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Using the book that was designed to make you free your mind. No,
the reason I love connecting with the regionals a lot has been specifically what you're describing. Is that I'm regularly connecting with folks who their community is their region's community.
Absolutely.
And, you know, you get into like Texas, for example, they like full on pride themselves on never having gone to Gerlach. Yeah. Like they're just doing their own thing.
Yeah. I know some of the K-Flip guys. Yeah. They're like, yeah, we love the fact that we are Flipside.
Yeah.
And that's great. We have I'm starting to see that a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Somebody told me one time, you can't say you're a burner if you're, this was early in the 2000s. You can't say you're a burner if you've never been to Black Rock. I'm like, not really.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't work that way.
The question of what is a burner is really what started this show.
Yeah.
It's why because I started this like before I actually went to my first Black Rock. And
really?
The first episode didn't come out till afterwards. Yeah. But I was interacting with a lot of people who were like super active, and I'm like, all right, this person's legitimately a burner. Because I had that experience with me. People were like, the people in San Diego who immediately took me in, they're like, you're a fucking burner.
Yeah, totally.
But then I've had very entertaining conversations. Diplomatically choosing words here. Very entertaining conversations with people who do feel adamant that you can't call yourself a burner unless you've been to Burning Man. And in some of my experiences with those folks, it tends to be the ones who are not particularly active in any community.
No, they're not. They're gatekeeping.
They're just like, you don't get to call yourself that if you haven't partied in the desert. And like they've done that once, and then they're like, I'm a burner now.
I'm like, my 10-year-old son has never been to Black Rock. He will go in 8 years when he'll go in 4 years when he turns 14.
Yeah.
He's never been to Black Rock. That kid is more burner than a lot of crusty old fuckers that are still hanging on that should not be going to burn anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry. Fuck radical inclusivity. Hey, no. In this one instance.
Yeah. No, I mean, hey, I'm radically inclusive of you being crusty and miserable.
Yeah, exactly. You know, yeah. Hey, good. More drugs for me. So
I'm not censoring you. In fact, I kind of want to hear it. It's entertaining. Because that's how you know. A culture is deeply established, like cities, like in every city you go to, you will talk to people who say it was better back in my day. And you're having that with burners. Like that is, to me, that's evidence of how deeply established our culture and community is.
Absolutely.
That we have people that are like, fuck it was way better back then, but I'm still not going anywhere.
It was not better back then. It sucked back then too. Because I went 2007, 2008, and I took a decade off. I didn't go from 2008 until 2018.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, what was the biggest difference? I said, the art, the scale of the art cars. Elwire didn't exist back in the late 2000s. Never Was Hall. I remember seeing Never Was Hall and the Steampunk Treehouse on Playa in 2007, 2008. And like that was, but there wasn't that scale of art. 2006 was the Belgian waffle.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be like the Belgian waffle, Uchronia, whatever it is. Yeah. But yeah, it's the art. The art has come a long ways, and everything has evolved and stuff. And with any system that evolves, sometimes there are people who don't evolve with the system, and they're labeled as crusty old burners or Republicans or whatever else you want to say.
Sometimes.
I
would say it's like, I mean, it almost seems to me strange if 100% of the organism evolved with the entire organism.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that'd be nice, I guess. Now that I said that out loud.
Yeah, we all evolved. Evolution is not selective. We all evolve together.
I appreciate though that the observation that you're sharing about the Vegas is very transient, as you're saying. Like, are people coming? So you're constantly getting some level of injection of energy shifts happening. But I would imagine that's also is like what contributes to the community remaining tight knit, even in such a place that's filled with so many weirdos already.
Right, it's filled with weirdos. We deal with weirdos every day. Every single burner that I can think of has some interaction with all this traffic and all this tourism that happens on the strip that gives us the illusion that we do. So we're kind of like, when we find our people, we're fucking sticking with them, And sometimes we stick with them a little too much, and then they become toxic, and it's just all.
Sure.
Yeah, so we have lots of breaks. I need to take a break for a second.
Please,
do you mind?
Yeah, please. Recording. Oop, there it is. Okay.
No time has elapsed, folks.
Yeah. No, not at all. Nothing happened.
Just average human podcasting.
Experience. No one peed. At what point were you christened Snarky Santa?
Oh, God. Oh, that goes into the conversation. So, 2006. So I left to Vegas from 2000. 2011 until 2016. I moved back in 2016. Literally, as soon as I got back, I had an email from Meg's or her predecessor saying, "Hey, do you want to be a Las Vegas regional contact?" I'm like, "I haven't unblackloaded the U-Haul yet." They're like, "We need a new regional contact," and I didn't get it, obviously. But
all right.
But that's okay. 2016. When I moved back here, and the guy who was running Santa Rampage, Santa Archy, Santa Con, whatever you want to call it, he was on tour. He's like, "Hey, he was one of my mentors. Good for." I'll name drop him. Cameron Grant.
All right, fuck it.
Cameron Grant.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Somebody out there, probably somebody in San Francisco just had a twitch by me saying his name. So Cameron,
disturbance in the force.
Oh yeah, Cameron had been running Rampage for a while, and so I was running Rampage for him because he was on tour and stuff like that. He's like, "You know what? Why don't you and Melissa, my co-hostess with the mostest, Santa Malicious." Started running it from there. Yeah. And then it was organic because like people were like calling me Santa. I'm like, well, I'm not wearing a Santa hat. They're like, but you're Santa. I'm like, but I'm not Santa. I'm just, Santa's not a person. You're Santa. Yeah. I'm like, this is a Will Ferrell movie or something. So yeah, then I became Santa. Snarky Santa came around cancer time.
Wow.
When
okay.
I was diagnosed with cancer, it was like it's always been kind of this part of me that was super sarcastic and super, dripping at the tongue to, like unleash the double barrel snark gun on somebody. And I've been snarky since I was a little kid. And it's just Snarky Santa. Okay.
So it's almost like the title burner. Like people just looked at you and you're like, you're a Santa.
You're Santa, yeah.
Did you, because when I walked into your home here, you're showing me that like the tree is up year round.
My Christmas tree has been up for 4 years now.
Yeah.
We put it up in 2019 and never took it down.
So all of this started around the same time.
My life rebooted when I was in my early 40s.
Fascinating. Okay,
tell me about it.
So I mean, it's a perfect time to transition into that part of the story. Then, what was going on in your life at that time, and then let's take us back to the beginning of the story where we got into the diagnosis.
So 2019, I was diagnosed with cancer. I had.
What was going on in your life at that time?
What was going on in my life? So I had been back in Vegas. My marriage was crumbling. My marriage was over. My children were, coming into their own. My ex-wife, was a drug addict, and I went through all that drama. I'm not gonna crucify her for anything. Sure. She did a lot of bad things. She had a lot of demons, but she gave me two of the best things I've ever had in my life. Is my sons. So
it's often where our best gifts come from.
Yeah, and then I made a mistake and fell in love before my last relationship was completely over with, and got my heart broken, and then I was diagnosed with cancer, and it was like, okay, this is okay. Where do you want to go with your life?
Yeah,
and I started reading through Facebook because my therapist told me it's not real unless I put it on Facebook,
saying you have cancer.
Yeah, well, that was the very first really post because I hadn't been talking to people. I'm like posted on Facebook like, hey, I just got diagnosed with cancer, and in about an hour, I'm gonna go have a large check of my large intestine removed.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that, the emotional part of it? Like, why is it encouraged to do that?
Why did I encourage myself? Oh.
You said your therapist said you have to put it on.
My therapist always said, my therapist now tells me, you it's not real until you put it on Facebook.
Okay.
And I'd always kind of like, for my entire life up until that point, 43 years, 42 years, I had always been like what everybody else wanted me to be.
Right.
Even through my time as a burner, I was like, okay, I need to be the best burner I can be. And then I decided, you know what? I'm not going to be what other people want me to be. I'm going to be whoever my true authentic self is. And yeah, I've got cancer. Yeah, I'm going to fucking fight it with snark and silliness and schoolgirl skirts and loads of medications that, may or may not have been prescribed by a veterinary. So
I guess like what I'm interpreting from what you're describing is that you felt like you weren't fully taking up space until the cancer basically forced you to.
I was not living my authentic self. I was not being what the fullest I could be. Cancer, because cancer says, hey, you may die. Okay, there's no next year.
Yeah.
Next year's better. No, next year's not guaranteed. Nothing in this life is guaranteed. We have to fucking seize it now.
Can you give me like a couple of examples of ways that you weren't being your most authentic self? And
I gave myself cancer.
Yeah.
How's that? I had repressed so much negativity and so much of things that were going on in my life, and trying to keep this outward appearance of being a good drone in the good cog in the machine, with all this stuff going on behind me, and I was just taking it and physically manifesting it into a tumor. I had a cancerous tumor growing inside my large intestine. It blocked off my large intestine. So when I say I'm full of shit, I really was full of shit for a while there.
Yeah.
But once that was removed, it's like, now you have to deal with the consequences of that. Now you have to say, okay, you're literally, this is not imaginative. You're literally staring death in the face.
Yeah.
And that's like, did you have a good world when you died?
Yeah.
And have to base a movie on? Like, no. I mean, yeah, probably boring, movie, but let's make a better life. Yeah. Have a better life for yourself. You've been exposed to all these amazing things, and one of those things was Burning Man. And I sat there in that bed and made a list of things that I wanted to do. One of them was, I want to write my own name in the temple. I want to go out there. I don't want someone to memorialize me. I don't want someone to put my ashes or something there. I want to go out there healthy and write my name in the temple. And I did that in 2019.
Yeah.
I went out there, I signed my name on a little plaque they had at center camp, put it in the temple, and ran the fuck out of there. Because temples are different now. Yeah. Temple, if your friends is like, temples are beautiful. I love going out there. I can only spend about 5 to 10 minutes inside the temple, and then I'm like, I gotta get out. It's like, no, there should be a whole group of people, small group, like 3 people mourning me, in here. But they're not. I'm here. I'm alive. So.
Right. If I was watching that movie about your life, what would surprise me the most about a way that you felt like you weren't living authentically before and you actively made a change to do after?
Actively changed after cancer. I started being more, I've always been honest. I've always been truthful. But it became, these are hard truths. These are I am not your warm and fuzzy friend that curls up with you and oh, poor baby. I'm the guy who says, all right, motherfucker, you fucked up, and now let's get some shit done.
Yeah.
And that came from being a burner. And that came from seeing the need and filling the need.
Yeah. You felt like you were holding back less.
Yes,
after.
I was holding back a lot less after cancer.
Yeah,
because it's like the line from Rent. No day but today.
Why? What do you think made you hold back in the past? Like, what was your motivation, and then what made you go look at that and go, "That's ridiculous"?
Jeez, Arash, you want to go into all my psychology, all my deep dive into my nanny issues, abandonment issues,
fingers literally up in your asshole right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, by the way. This is
no problem. Anybody who says that they might shove a finger in my ass, I'm going to... Never mind. I'm going to stop right now.
It's one of the things that they do in, like, football pylons. I've heard stories about, like, when you see, like, a bunch of football players on top of each other, and, like, the guy on the bottom has holding the football, and they're doing anything they can to get him to let go of that football. And one of the things, like, I remember reading, like, they're saying one of these famous linebackers, like, would famously try to reach down the dude's pants and stick their finger in their ass, because that's going to make you let go of that football.
Oh, wow. I started watching.
Yeah.
Never mind on that one.
Yeah. I hear you.
Where were we at?
I think the thing about your experience with cancer that I'm connecting to in my head is this running theme I'm going to describe for a second, right? Yeah. It's a theme of surrender, like when you surrender to what this thing is and embrace. And I think it's what happens with, like, DMT, for example, when people blast off and have ego death. At first, you're fighting it and you're freaking out, and then the minute you accept it, you're like, okay. And then incredible things happen. And, like, for me, for example, I came back and I immediately saw how mean I was being to my body.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am so fucking mean to this like Ferrari that I've been gifted to drive around in.
I call mine the Chaos engine. So the Chaos engine, the red light's still on, and it's going.
I do, and I find this to be a consistent theme with a lot of people's experiences, and we manifest different things in our life journeys. Like for you, it took the form of cancer. Yeah. My friend Josh is the reason that I'm out here in Vegas right now. I kind of came out here to hang out with him, and he had a motorcycle accident at one point.
Don't know Josh?
No, Josh Levine?
No.
He had a motorcycle.
Sorry, Josh.
Yeah, he's got big poofy hair, and he actually points out to his hair a lot actually, because he had a motorcycle accident and he almost died, and he spent some time in the hospital, and he's like, that's when everything changed. Yeah. The universe punched him into surrendering. Yeah. And I have a mini practice of this every single day, because I've been taking cold showers for almost a year now. Yeah. Maybe a year. And it's pretty fucking cold in Vegas right now. So you walk into a cold shower, it's fucking freezing.
Vegas cold is not real cold.
It's nothing. It's just like a shower. But it's this mini moment of reminding myself, because as soon as I get in there, the cold sucks. Yeah. But after a minute or so, when I surrender, it stops stinging. It's fine.
Have you ever read Jonathan Living Seagull by Richard Bach?
No.
There is a thing in there. I have a copy upstairs. Or Mom's got a copy of it. It's where it's a story. It's a parable. It starts with a parable of this creature living in a river, and every time they let go, they get crumbled against rocks. Yeah. And it's like, well, don't let go. But I want to let go. But don't let go. You'll crumble rocks. And they let go, and then the river lifts them higher than the rocks. Yeah. It sucks for a while, but you got to go through the bullshit, and then you start getting the good stuff. That's hopefully where I'm at right now. So
yeah. It's always darkest before the dawn.
Always darkest before the dawn.
It's on Playa. It is the fucking coldest right before the sun, the sun's
freezing.
Coming up. Yeah. I had a note here to ask you about your LED talk, because everybody's biggest fear, it was the most famously, the biggest fears are death and public speaking.
Yes. And I do both of them eloquently.
Tell me about public speaking as a person who looked death in the face.
Public speaking at Burning Man, wearing pigtails and a tutu. Yeah. So 2018, I went to the Burn. I wrote my name in the temple. I did my LED talk at the Burn. They had the open mic series at Burning Man. And I was like, oh, yeah, I should do that. And everybody encouraged me. I signed up. I got up there. I spoke for about 30-ish minutes or so, and then took questions and stuff like that. It was so weird to watch people. I'm going to do a coffee shop thing here in just a second.
Okay.
Watching people coming through the crowd and hearing something I was saying. I'm making jokes about cancer farts. Yeah. Which, by the way, if you've never experienced cancer farts, they're fucking phenomenal. Every person who has experienced someone who loves somebody who has had cancer has experienced chemo farts.
What are chemo farts?
Chemo farts are the gas that is produced while you're going through chemo fighting cancer. It is the most toxic, noxious thing you can smell. Okay. And it's a universal. Everybody goes through that. It's just your body's trying to heal itself, and it's trying to dump all this crap, literally. And the chemo farts suck.
So it's worse than bean burritos.
It's worse than bean burritos. Okay. It is worse than Roberto's, Del Taco, whatever.
Is it as bad as a dead body?
Dead body, yeah. It's horrible.
Ooh. Okay.
But you're sitting there talking to people about this stuff. You're talking about this, and people are listening, huh? And I've always, I love that. I love that fact of them coming and seeing them and talking to them. And just going through the talk and enjoying it, and then getting off stage and okay, well, I did that now. What's next? Let's keep writing, keep doing it, keep encouraging it,
Yeah. Is the talk up on video anywhere?
There is a very old link on my YouTube. I will send it over to you.
Yeah, I want to definitely include that in the notes.
Yeah.
Can you give I think we're going to go here for about another 15 minutes or so. Can you give the TLDR version of the LED talk, and then we're going to link over to it so people can go and see the whole thing from beginning to end?
TLDR, 2018, I was diagnosed with cancer. I gave myself cancer. I fought cancer using the tools I had, which was wit, sarcasm, style, and a whole bunch of cross-dressing things. And I've been celebrating this year was 5 years of remission.
Yeah. Well, fucking congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you. It came up. It came up recently, and like the holiday season is always weird for me, but this holiday season was just like, heartbreak and new romance and cancer remission 5 years, because that's the measure. That's the stick they lay out. Is like, okay, you're free of cancer now. See me in 5 years. So.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to share with the listeners real quick when I walked into your home right now. First of all, it's funny. I was like on the street trying to figure out which one's your place. And then there's like the, like the half missing art car outside. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Santa Sleigh coming to the Playa 2024.
Yeah. And then we came in and I'm immediately surrounded by warmth and love here. Like your son right now that came in and the warmest, most open smile I've ever seen.
My kids,
a kid that age, by the way, to like walk up and give a big, huge hug.
My kids are amazing. People in my kids, and it's like, well, let me give you a backstory on these kids.
Yeah,
both these kids.
One thing I want to point out real quick. Most kids his age, they're kind of like still concerned about like, how do I look cool? Like there's a barrier there. Yeah. He was immediately like, smile, hello, give me a hug.
Yeah. They are. My 10-year-old is the best therapist you will ever not have to pay for.
Oh my God!
Seriously, he is. He's a mini me. He's my little one's my clone of mine. I have a 14-year-old son. He's on the spectrum. He's also like me, but in the different ways. Yeah. So, but. Yeah, my house. I call my house Castle Snark.
Yeah,
it's been my ancient family home since 2018.
Your mom is Madam Snark?
My mom is.
Yes, we are. We are totally talking about you.
We're talking about you. Go away, little wolf. My kids have polite names, yes. Yeah. But my home is a sanctuary to anybody who wants it. Yeah. Have you? So you're San Diego. I know so many San Diego people because, like I said, their mother was from San Diego.
Yeah.
She was Fraggle from the early 2000s, the early noughts.
Yeah.
She Smoke Blower, Greg Young, Smoke Blower, Scotto, who's Arizona.
Greg's been on, yeah.
Greg's been on. Cable. I haven't listened to the Cable episode, the latest Cable episode. I love that man.
Yeah.
Hi, Cable.
Cable is my burner daddy.
Oh, he is your burner daddy. Oh yeah. You may have heard some stories about me or Fraggle. So
amazing, dude. Yeah, that's wow. Okay. Let's see here. I think we've mostly hit a lot of the stuff that I really wanted to go. I think what I want to kind of close out here on, little by little, you've kind of like revealed what your experience with fighting is, which is, again, like part of that philosophical experience, because it's surrender because you have you don't have power over this thing, but then you also have to fight it. And I guess like maybe the definition of fighting is where I used to get tripped up when I would see people say the phrase "fuck cancer," because what I was connecting fighting to was anger.
Yeah.
And it sounds like
you can power any action with any emotion if you try hard enough.
Right.
I thought,
like, is anger valuable?
Is there a value in anger? Wow. There's probably a place for anger. If using it constructively, but anger is fire. Anger will burn your house down.
Yeah.
And
my therapist would tell me I experienced a pretty extended period of depression that I've not gotten super deep into on this show much. But my therapist would tell me, he's like, and I would ask him like, hey, how do I know I'm getting out of this? And he said, when you start getting angry.
When I saw a therapist almost 30 years ago, I said, why am I always crying or angry? And they said, the two base human emotions are anger and sadness. That's when you're rebooting your entire system. Those are the first systems that come back online.
Right. Well, because anger is sadness faced outwards. Yeah, it's depression outward. But like, yeah, then when you start to, I guess it's like the farts. Once you start to express it and it's coming out of you, then you're able to start moving past it.
Exactly. You have to, nothing is real until you put it out in the universe.
Right.
Have all those great ideas in your head. Don't do anything. Put them on paper.
Yeah.
I started my writing. My writing started when I said, in today's Rainy Tales, ... And I post all these little things out there, all these different, stories about me, because that's how we define ourselves.
Right.
We are truly immortal if other people will always remember us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because I have like a daily note for myself too. Like these days I write every day, and I have it listed as authentic self-expression time.
Yeah.
Basically. But what I am processing as I'm having this conversation with you is that, in my narrative and my upbringing, I was very afraid of anger because in my home it was abuse.
Oh, totally. I grew up with a very abusive father. I grew up with a lot of negative male role models. And my mother tells people, if you knew who he was around when he grew up, the man standing here, they aren't the same person.
All right. So that sounds like that's something you and I have in very much in common, is that we were holding back our authentic self-expression because we were afraid.
Right.
Of hurting other people because we got hurt.
I never told you the story about how you came into my orbit.
No.
So 2014 or so, I wanted to do a podcast on Burning Man. I was like, come on, let's do a Burning Man podcast. And so I recorded something and I sent a link out to people, and Cable was one of them. They were like, oh yeah, no, listen to what Arash is doing over here. I listened to Arash's stuff, and I'm like, oh, fuck me. Okay, I'll try to get on his show one of these days. So.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Yeah. So that was how long? That was 14, you said?
2014, 15, yeah, somewhere there.
So it's been like 8 or 9 years in the making. Then it sounds like. This is awesome.
Yeah,
it's my fucking absolute pleasure. Authentic self-expression. You let that shit out, or it turns into cancer.
Yep.
that's the fucking lesson on this episode.
Yeah, exactly. Here's your TLDR points, folks, that you don't want to learn in life. Like, I'm gonna give you a crash course here. Embrace the suck. Lean into the awkwardness. Always talk hard. Always live at full volume.
Yeah. Because
tomorrow might not ever get here.
I love it.
There is no next year. Yes, it's going to be better next year. You may or may not be a part of that. What are you going to do this year? What are you going to do now? Yeah. Yeah. And also, burners are descended from anarchists and not hippies. I love Halcyon. I love Halcyon timepieces. I finally met him. Yeah. Even if he's been in my orbit longer. Yeah. I mean, Halcyon entered my orbit with the Fruit of the Loom stuff. You remember any of that stuff way back in the late 90s. But I'm kind of anti-Halcyon because I'm like Halcyon. I love John. John just says the right things, but when people say, "Are you the real Santa?" I'm like, I'm not the Santa you want. I'm the Santa you deserve.
With the naughty paddle and everything. I love it.
You see? No, my paddle's not here. I sent you the picture of the paddle. No, my friend Jorge made a paddle for me that one side is padded and says nice, and one side of it is wooden and hard and says naughty. Yeah. He came by and borrowed the paddle. He's taking a photo shoot. Thanks, Jorge. Yeah.
What's up next? What are you working on next? What's going on next in your world?
Next in my world is we're going to start a new year. I'm putting Rainy Tales more publicly so people can read them. My website is up. I actually have a fiction book I want to try to publish this year also.
Yay.
Yes, it's about angels and demons and chicks with dicks and stuff like that. So yeah, it's all sort of fun stuff. But yeah, and just living my life. Yeah. I spent 2 years. I turned 50. Yeah, and I'm still going. People at Lightning Bottle were like, not Lightning Bottle. Life is Beautiful. Other LIB phase were like, how are you still going? I said, because I go when I need to go and I stop when I need to stop. I'm I went to EDC last year, 2 years ago. I went to my first EDC.
Nice.
Over 100,000 people at the Speedway. I'm the only motherfucker dressed up like Santa. Can you imagine how many cops were up my ass all night long? And I told, I'm Santa. I'm Santa 24/7.
Yeah.
You know, it's like every day's Christmas if you do it right.
Fucking Christmas in Vegas, man.
Christmas in Vegas.
Christmas in Vegas. Hey, we're hearing a DJ set in the background. Who is this? Whose music is playing?
This is my friend, DJ Iris. Yeah. Iris Refractions. She is this amazing, beautiful, wonderful human who I wanted to let people know because I elevate my friends.
Yeah.
Because, hey, I got big arms, big hands, extra plates.
Fuck yeah.
Then I will get my people into their world. So, hey, Iris, this is from Santa.
Yeah. Though that sounds fantastic. We're gonna listen to about a half an hour of it, and then we'll link over to the rest of DJ Iris so you can hear the rest of the set. Yeah. Do you know where it was recorded?
No idea.
All right.
It was probably in her basement. It was probably no, they don't have basements into that. So.
All right. DJ Iris, shout out to you. I'm gonna do the indie recording thingy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do the recording.
Yeah. There you go. Today's episode has been, it looks like actually over 5 years in the making. So it's truly a privilege to close this particular loop. Thank you to contributing producer Matt Meanders, a super friend of the show and all-around excellent human being based in Phoenix, Arizona. Hey, did you like today's show? Did you enjoy the insights? Did you appreciate the conversation? Share it with 3 friends. Just, pull out your iPhone or otherwise inferior device and just shoot this over to someone as if it's an unsolicited dick pic. Listen, you know what I want to do? I want to get the show back into its snarkier roots. I've been inspired by today's episode. I feel like I've been playing it a little too fucking safe this past couple of years. So, the opening credit straight up kind of tells you to go fuck yourself, right? So fuck it. We'll do it live. Anyway, send this out to 3 friends. Blah, blah, blah. We don't advertise the show. Blah, blah, blah. Any of the following we have is built strictly on word of mouth from you, dear listeners. Thank you. Blah, blah, blah. All of the links and all this shit is over. All the stuff we talked about today. Everything's going to be over on the show notes. All these links are over at burnerpodcast.com. In addition to today's contributing producer, Matt Meanders, Burner Podcast is brought to you by a team of revolving volunteer producers based in various parts of the United States. The Burner Podcast theme music, America's Horse with No Name remix, is produced by Joe Man out of, not Denver, Austin. I almost said Tucson. Austin, Texas. Until next time, love, light, and all that other crap. Take us back to the playa from your basement.
Right now!
DJ Iris.
Seems I can't deny. Some days just pass me by. You know I think I feel much better at Beep beep.
burnerpodcast.com.